Alright, take two. Alright. So this video is gonna be like a mini tutorial on how to defeat Nobody's Wave 3 in the Cavern of Remembrance on level 1. I had Onyx and Roman ask me this question, how to deal with it. And I've also had a lot of people just in general say like, oh dude, I'm getting like walled at this fight for literal weeks or hours or whatever, when everything was super hard. When everything else was super easy, rather. So I guess that I kind of I get where you guys are coming from, since I went through the same thing way back in the day. So kind of make a little guide to help you guys along, so that's not nearly as bad. So let's go over items, customize, all that sort of stuff first. So first of all, you should really you should have your drives maxed before really going into the Cavern of Remembrance. I would also recommend leveling your summons, maxing summons. They're super useful, and there's like a couple different strats that we're going to be using. One of them is mostly just really using summons like Stitch and Genie. So I would recommend summon level to be like max. If you want to know how to level summons, I'm sure there are plenty of guides on YouTube. Best place is Mushroom 5 in Agrabah. Lexaeus one that just lets you like wail on it forever. You can level it off that guy. Really. So yeah, that's status and everything. Let's go to items. So you don't need anything super fancy for armor or accessories. Just have like a bunch of AP for accessories, because strength and magic don't really matter on level 1. And your armor doesn't really matter either. I guess like dark resistance would be like pretty good at that. You can also synth shock charm pluses, which have thunder boost. You can synth full bloom pluses, which have MP haste. Those would be useful too, but I'm not going to be using them in this tutorial. So, want to go the extra mile, go for it. You can do that. Items. You should definitely have plenty of ether, for sure. I would recommend like at least this amount of ethers. Like this is like the minimum I would recommend. If anything, I would probably get rid of that stuff. But I know that some people kind of that safety potion just in case, so that there. Keyblades. The Rumbling Rose is definitely what you should be using on your base Keyblade for these strats. I would just recommend it in general. I think that is just good. Because you can get like double magnet burst off of having 3 finishers. Or yeah, 3 finishers. Yeah, you have 3 finishers. Flanking. You can get triple magnet burst. You can get double Thundaga finisher, which is better than having Photon Debugger on. A lot of people think like this is, if we're going to be using Magnet Thunder a lot, which we are, it's Photon Debugger, but it's actually, I would recommend Rumbling Rose because the finishers are just better damage. Doesn't matter what you have for Valor or Master Form, not really going to. Final, there are strats to use Final, so I would recommend Hero's Crest. It doesn't really matter what you have on here, so you can just kind of like throw whatever you want. A Bond of Flames is full. Maybe Kingdom Key. You don't need Oathkeeper. Recommend. Dragon, maybe. I don't know. I would recommend Hero's Crest because there are certain situations where like you're going to be using a finisher, and it's nice to get like extra damage off of Final Form. Just because. Oh, you know what I've done? I haven't been saved. Okay, well, I'm just gonna have to remember to die here at the very end when so that I can show off multiple strats. Doesn't really matter what you have on for Donald and Goofy or anything like that. Abilities for Sora, pretty much your standard fare. You should not have Aerial Finish on, and you should have Magnet Burst on, so you can double Magnet Burst if you get into it in a second. Don't have any combo pluses on or air combo pluses on. You want to get to your finishers as soon as possible. You're going to be starting with magnet finisher anyway, ground combos. But for air combos, you want to get to your magnet burst as quickly as possible, so I would just take it off. Everything else pretty much what you should be having on: form boost, summon boost, draws, all this stuff. Yeah. For Donald and Goofy, I didn't go over this last time. For Donald and Goofy, Goofy doesn't matter. Donald, it's maybe a little bit more important. I would recommend either Comet or Duck Flare. Either one is pretty good. I would recommend Comet personally because I think it has a little bit better synergy with Magnet. There's like a strat that I use that works really well with Comet. Comet also lasts longer, like the limit gauge lasts longer, so you get more invincibility, which is good because you have more time to kind of plan out what you're gonna do. So that's what I would recommend. But either one works perfectly fine. Last thing. Oh, actually, no, customize. Donald and Goofy should be on sword attack, but they probably aren't gonna. That's not gonna matter too much. Magnet, Thunder, Reflect, Ether is what I would recommend. Whatever custom you want, just for the quick like item accessibility. The other thing is drive recoveries. These are also useful too. So I have Stitch on right now, and I'm gonna throw on these drive recoveries. I'm gonna show you. So I have Stitch on, but I also have 9 drive at the same time, and that's like usually you don't run into the situation because when you use you're at max drive and then you use a summon, you have 6 drive when you convert. But using a drive recovery while you're in a summon brings up back all the way to 9. If I dismiss, then I'm back at 9 drive. So it's useful just for extra summon / drive use. Probably aren't going to need them, but it's just kind of nice to have. That I'd recommend. And some people probably are not going to have 9 drive like I do, so it might actually, like some of you might be at 7 drive or something like that, so it might actually be a good idea to summon Stitch and then max out so that you're at 7 drive, so that you can use like 3 summons or something like that. Alright, so getting into the actual fight with strats and stuff. So, Stitch. We're going to be using Stitch and we're going to be using Genie. Stitch, all you need to know about this guy is that he gives you a lot of MP refills and he deflects certain attacks, like really light attacks. Anything that's like super hard, heavy hitting, he's not going to be able to deflect. But other than that, he's really, really useful, so you'll be seeing that a lot. So for this first wave, we're gonna come in and there's going to be a shockwave that comes down from the Dragoons. That's the first wave. So just reflect that and then go into Magnet Thunder. Like this. So, another thing to note is that Magnet Thunder is pretty much what you're going to be using for most of these guys that aren't, for everything that's not a Sorcerer. Sorcerers are immune to Thunder, Magnet Thunder, so you're not going to be using it on them, but for everybody else, Magnet Thunder is super useful, so that's what I would recommend doing. Alright, so if you ever run out of MP, well, it's just refilled it, but if you ever run out of MP, you can just kind of like glide away. You can also, another safety strat is using Magnet Burst. That's like that's the double Magnet Burst that I was talking about earlier. It's useful and it stuns enemies for a long amount of time and it gives you just free time in case your MP is like, you know, not fully recharged. It just gives you that extra time to be safe and charge your MP and stuff. So after Dragoons, next wave is going to be Dancers and Creepers. Careful of the Dancers because if they grab you, then it's a one-shot on level 1 no matter what. I'm not even sure if like full ribbons can save you in that situation. Magnet Thunder still really useful here. So after this wave is when you're gonna come up against your first Sorcerer. Spawn right here. Alright, so Sorcerers, they're immune to Magnet Thunder. They're immune to every form of magic except for Magnet and Reflect. We're gonna be using. What you need to know about them is that their cubes are their weapon, and they act independently of the Sorcerer. What I mean by that is you can be comboing the Sorcerer, and the cubes will just attack you while you're comboing him. So it doesn't matter that he's like in stun or anything like that. They will just like destroy you. And they get like more aggressive the more you hit the Sorcerer too. Another thing. So the plan here, just kind of like follow my lead. Wait for an attack like that, and then reflect it. And then you just kind of want to hit him with Aerial Dive. Make sure that just like with Combo Master, just so that the full reflect hits him. Then you want to wait, because if you continue to try and kill him from here, probably not going to get the damage in time, and he might actually use the other move with his cubes, which is where he just flings them around, and it lasts a long time, it has a lot of stun, and if you get hit by it, you're probably dead. So what I would recommend is just sitting here and waiting for another attack by the cubes. You have to be patient right there. That attack will work. And then just do that. Just reflect into a combo in order to kill him. So, when that Sorcerer is dead, you get into this next wave with Dancers and Dragoons. Dragoons come in with the Shockwave like before, so reflect that at the start and then go into Magnet Thunder combos. It might also be too high, so you don't have to worry about it so much. Okay, so now we're coming up to the more dangerous part of this whole fight. It's where they mix the Sorcerers in with regular nobodies. So next wave after the Dragoons and Dancers is going to be Dancers, Creepers, and one Sorcerer. So to deal with all of that at the same time, we're going to be using Genie. So what I would recommend is like getting it down to like 1 or 2 Dragoons right here, and then having Stitch refill your MP, Vert Stitch, and get into... We'll just do that right here. Real quick. I'm just kind of waiting on Stitch to refill my MP. Avoid this guy's attacks. Hopefully Stitch will do it. It's just nice to have full MP. You don't have to do it, I would recommend. Casual sense. Okay, there it is. So wait, I'm just gonna get on this next attack. Miss. Genie. Okay, and then go into Final Genie. That's the most important part, because that's what we're doing. Final Genie. Okay, so the strat is you're going to kill the Dragoon, and then when the next wave comes in, you want to target an enemy that's like low to the ground. You want to jump, and then target enemy that's low to the ground. Magnet, use Infinity on Final Genie. And then that's going to do a lot of damage. The Magnet and Infinity like synergize a lot and get a lot of hits in. And also, if you just like wiggle the analog stick around a lot and move Genie around, it'll do extra hits and it'll refill his summon gauge more because of the Magnet. We'll just do that real quickly. It's just like something you're gonna have to get used to. It's pretty easy though. So, Thunder, jump, move around a lot. Alright, now we have the second wave already coming in. This is Dragoons and one Sorcerer. So in this case it's a little bit harder because the enemies are higher in the air and it's hard to get like a good magnet. Kind of like try your best. I'm gonna try my best here. I can't. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. This isn't gonna do that much. Yeah, see, right? That's kind of like an example of why that doesn't work all the time. Is they need to be low to the ground in order for it to work. But I think the Sorcerer's dead, and that's like the most important part right here. So you can just go to Magnet Thunder these guys. Alright, so after the Dragoons are dead, you're gonna come up against 2 Sorcerers. It's important to be on the ground when you kill this last Dragoon, because the Sorcerers will spawn relative to your height. If you're high in the air, they'll spawn higher, and you don't want them to be high in the air, as we just went over. You go to the ground so you can magnet them and get in maximum damage. So I would recommend waiting for this guy to, or just being on the ground and like thundering this guy, and you go into the Sorcerers when they spawn, like that, and then they'll spawn relatively low to the ground, low enough anyway for this to work. All right, so now the Sorcerers, this Sorcerer's gonna die, and the next wave is gonna be Sorcerer free. It's just gonna be Dragoons, Creepers, and Dancers. So you want to get into Final Genie again, like ASAP, because after you kill a certain amount of those creepers, dancers, and dragoons. It's hard to go over in my head. As soon as you kill enough of those guys, then the sorcerers are going to start spawning in, just kind of like independently, and it just kind of... It's really just like one big wave where enemies are just constantly spawning in one after another, and sorcerers eventually are going to come in, and there's like 4 or 5 of them. So you want to be in Final Genie to be able to take care of them. So after you kill this, after you revert from Genie and kill this last sorcerer, I would recommend like Magnet Thundering and then like Ether Genie and then get back into the Genie combos like I explained. So you'll see here just in a second. Oof, that was close. Probably also Reflect, it's a good idea. Get away here. Final Genie. There we go. Not too bad. Here soon, probably after I kill like a couple of these guys, the sorcerers are gonna start spawning in. Oh. Goon spawned in instead. Okay. Alright, well, at least this gives us a time to a little bit. All the stuff that we went over. That was not. Alright. So, Magnet Thunder at the start. For these first 2 waves. Well, okay. That's the first wave. This is the second wave. And now we got the Sorcerer. So, reflect, attack once, wait, reflect, attack, reflect. If he does this, if he does that attack right there where he flings the cubes around a lot, you should do is you should reflect, attack, reflect instead of going full combo, and it'll probably kill him. It'll take a little bit of chip damage, but it's nothing that you can't handle. Alright, so wait here. There we go. We're far enough away for that not to hit us. Oh, the Sorcerer's not in here. Uh-oh. Wait, no, is he? Oh, he was. Okay, I didn't... Also, a decent strategy right there is to try and, like, not auto-target them. Just get a magnet that's relatively low to the ground, like that. That way, they'll be pulled in, and then go from there. So let's try this again. So this is the wave with all the big mesh of them. Genie here, get away. How many ethers do I have? Yeah, I have plenty. Fine. Oh god, okay. Maybe it's safer to reflect, I don't know. I don't do this strat that often. I just kind of casually assume like Final Genie works. So just continue to do the Magnet Genie combos. What I recommend. Alright, so this is probably, these are the last 2 guys, I would assume. So you kind of get the gist of it, in Final Genie there. If you need to, you can use like a Comet or anything like that if you run out of drive. So that's the strat, pretty much. I want to die on purpose so that I can show you another strat potentially with Final Form instead. I think is pretty cool, and I'm a lot more familiar with it because speedruns. So I would still recommend Stitch at the start and 9 drive, etc. Or max drive. It's just instead when we get to the sorcerers with the other nobodies, you're going to be using Final Form instead of Final G. We're just going to be basically replacing Final G situation. You can also kind of like use Final Genie at the very end. Depends on what you're comfortable with. Oof. Okay, there we go. Alright, so right here, right about here, another guy that spawns? Guess there is. I should have just met. Let's try again. It's like super useful doing it like that. Reflect, attack, reflect, takes that, reflect, that, and always have this magnet up. I think that takes care of that now. So we're gonna dismiss, and then we're gonna go into final form actually. Alright, so now the idea here is it's the same principle with like using the cubes to reflect off of. We're gonna be waiting for the cube attack, and then we're gonna reflect magnet. That's gonna pull everybody in and do a lot of damage, and we're just gonna do that multiple times with final form. That's like the basic idea here, and combined with like using fingers and stuff. So just kind of follow my lead. Jump into the air, reflect magnet, come into the air again. Use one thing that I'm not sure if everybody knows is when you have glide. You don't, you can just hold square in midair and he'll just float there. And that's like super useful for staying in the air. So that's what I would recommend, is just staying in the air and then wait for the attack and then drop down combo. Alright, so now we're gonna need to kind of fly away because that attack is still going. Okay, now we're safe. Reflect. That. Let's see. I'm gonna wait for them to attack, actually. Oof, that was... Okay. For him. And then the two Sorcerer is the same idea. Okay, I did this really fast, but I kind of needed, because you need fast when you do it. So what I just did there is, what is it? When you kill those sorcerers and you get to this wave right here, you want to revert, and then I want to get into a comet as soon as possible, because that's going to refill my drive back to high enough to where I can use final form again, and then it's comet. So I get into the corner and I use 3 ether after the comet with the magnet setup, and then I go like magnet, thunder, thunder, and then when that second thunder is done, then I use a part of the comet. You don't want to mash triangle, but it's just kind of like a systematic like magnet, thunder, thunder, triangle, magnet, thunder, thunder, ether, triangle, magnet. Ooh. I just ran out of comet straight up. Weird. Okay. But that's kind of the general idea there with that magnet combo. You can kind of like spam it all if you want, just like for the iframes, but there's like a systematic way to get like a bunch of damage out of it. New mistake that I made like as soon as I did. As soon as it happened, already dead. Always have the magnet up when you have Dragoon around. I'm making that mistake, and that's why I'm dying a bunch. Learn from my mistakes, boys and girls. There we go. See, I just caught them as they came in. Super important. Alright, so here... Iron Burst is super useful in those situations. Select attack. Deflect, attack, slash, kill. Last guy, I think. Alright, so just wait for the cube attacks and then reflect attack. You can also get the Dragoons as they're coming in with the shockwave. Also a good idea.
Ah, thanks, loves.
Oof. Perfectly. Be on the ground as well for this part. That's an important part. So again, deflect, attack, and revert. Get in this corner. Boom, boom, boom. Comet. 1, 2, 3. All right, so. Once that comet is all done, you kind of want to fly around and make sure that Donald's alive so that you can get in the final form. And then, okay, and then you, from there, it's just, it really should be just sorcerers and nobody else, so you can collect, magnet them. Alright, I'm just gonna, they're pretty much the last guys, so I'm just gonna let them die on purpose. Yo, Vistra, thanks for the sub. The other strat that I would recommend is just kind of like going back and forth between whichever one you like more. So if you, I don't know. If you want to use one, you can kind of like interchange them. Like I'll show you what I mean by that. Like interchanging Final Genie and Final Form. Like replace one with the other, and it's not really that big of a deal. I'm making a stupid dumb mistake. Okay. Like, for example, what I'll do here, like in this example, is I will take care of these guys. Let me see, I'll use Final Genie first, and then I'll use Final Form last. We'll go with that idea. Wait here. Doesn't parry. But case. Always make sure you have a magnet up. Gonna play it safe here. There we go. So what did I say first? Final Genie first? Yeah, I think I get this out. Dismiss. Genie. There we go. Final Genie that first wave. Go this way. Yeah, wasn't the most successful one in the world, but I'll take it. As long as you're surviving and killing the Sorcerer, it's all that really matters. Alright, now we'll use Final Form last. Try to. Shouldn't be too hard. So like, what you would do in this situation is you would just like eat the iframes to get into the corner. That sets up the comet, actually. That goes so preemptively. Okay, so now we're gonna fly around. Good. I would recommend like reflecting straight out of that because that attack is like so bonkers that you kind of need the safety. And then just kind of continue doing what you've been doing. Wait. There you go. Kind of takes care of itself. So Yeah, it's not too bad. But you just need a good strat. So that's pretty much the fight. Hopefully you got something out of it. That's just how I do it. There are multiple different casual strats. I probably used a different weird casual strat with like Master Genie back in the day. It worked. Wasn't nearly as effective as this, but whatever works. Whatever keeps you, you know, alive. Just general things like Comet with iframes, Magnet Thunder, just what clears out enemies. Well, Magnet Burst whenever you're in danger. That sort of. But that's yeah, that kind of takes care of things. So, hope you enjoyed the video. This is just an impromptu sort of guide. It's not anything professional. I just wanted to throw it out there because spur of the moment, that sort of thing. So, I will see you guys later.